So recently, if anyone follows me on Twitter, you may have noticed I was in a bit of a spat. This person I can only guess is one of two things: a troll or the epitome of those who are unable to think clearly or logically due to what seems to be mass hysteria. Media shoves COVID down your throat 24/7, and that seems to cause people to think that COVID is the only thing to worry about and the only thing to take into consideration, and completely ignore all the unintended consequences of what might happen if we continue down this road of lockdown, shutdowns, stay-at-home orders, etc. Now, I should say, I'm not really making this video about this person in particular, but more so about people like them and who this person represents, people who just refuse to listen to reason. Even if this person is a troll, which might be the case, that doesn't really matter to me, because sadly there really are a good number of people out there like this, who you can point out that mass deaths could occur from the decrease in food production, but they'll just keep repeating the word COVID as if they're in a trance, and it becomes quite literally the same as talking to a brick wall. So anyway, I posted a video on COVID a couple days ago, and I pointed out that if we end the lockdowns, it could carry some risk for sure, but it's not a guaranteed situation that ends up being dire and disastrous. That's not a guarantee if we end the lockdowns. But if we continue the lockdowns, at least for a significant amount of time, that will undoubtedly end in a horrifying situation. Economy crumbles, businesses in shambles, no work to go around, production is largely dead, massive food shortages, which we're already seeing, by the way. So we're not talking about the old days where in a rough economy it was tough to find a job or to buy a new car, to buy a house, or pay off your student loans. That was utter child's play compared to what you might face with the collapse of production. We're talking about starvation. Because here's the thing, this person on Twitter and people like them constantly accuse people who don't agree with the shutdowns of being heartless and not caring about the well-being of people, and not care about people dying or dead children, etc. Now, the opposite could not be more true. I oppose these draconian measures precisely because I care about people. And not just Americans, mind you. There are people around the world who are in abject poverty and utter destitution, and they rely on U.S. agriculture to get fed. Now, if people like this person want to keep asking the question of how much is a human life worth, and how could we not care, I would like to ask them, how many people have to die overseas because of the lockdowns you support in order for you to feel like we might have gone too far? How many children in the U.S. have to be malnourished or perhaps even starve to death or go without shelter for you to say that this wasn't worth it and the government went too far? I'd like to know the answer to that. And it would be nice to get a real human answer from these people instead of what we usually get, which is a form of virtue signaling, where they simply say we need to remain locked down, businesses should be shut down, livelihoods destroyed, we know it stinks, but if you don't agree, you don't care about people dying. These people are broken records. So anyway, I don't like doing this, and this person hasn't responded to me since my last response, but if they do, I can't keep going with them. I just have to budget my time, and someone who is so clearly incapable of rational thought and really thinking through the arguments laid out before them, well, it's just not the best use of my time to keep arguing with someone like that. It's sort of like arguing with those Marxists who think Stalin, Mao, and Pol Pot weren't that bad and things were actually great under them. Yes, those Marxists exist, and no, it's not worth your time arguing with someone who is that far gone. I also don't waste my time debating flat earthers. They are not going to budge, and there is certainly something more going on there than just a misunderstanding of astronomy, geometry, and physics. Well, in much the same way, there's a lot more going on with these people than simply watching a little bit too much CNN and reading a few too many articles from the WHO. There is a severe inability to process information in a sober manner. But that is all for now. Like, subscribe, share this video, and support lockdowns. Otherwise, you obviously don't care about dead kids. Take it easy.